Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni cases likely won't settle before trial, and this is according to Justin's lawyer.
A spokesperson for Lively said, "It's a painful reality that the actress is not alone."
Justin Baldoni just completely knocked Blake Lively down in court after she threw out the most mind-boggling request you could imagine, and honestly, I'm here trying to keep from bursting into laughter.
I just wanted to start the fire and run as far as I possibly can.
Her entire public image is basically in ruins. Her recent films are getting worse reviews by the day, and she's being labeled a bully and a liar. Now she suddenly wants to hit the brakes on everything and make the lawsuit vanish. But nope, Justin's not giving her that easy way out. He's on the brink of a victory, and no matter how polite he tries to seem, there's no chance he's letting her off scot-free just yet.
She filed her motion to dismiss today, and according to the documents, she says Justin's actually violating the law by filing his lawsuit against her because it's all being done for revenge.
And let's be real, after burning through both the public's and the court's time, Blake might have lost the right to act like she can just walk away. This entire Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively spectacle has turned Hollywood into one giant, petty courtroom drama nobody realized we all needed. And now the big question is, which of them is going to emerge with their reputation only half as torn up?
Then she asked him herself to play Ryle in the movie, and things were great until Blake Lively, right?
First up, Justin Baldoni says Blake's accusations basically wrecked his life and his career. He spent years building a polished public image, and that all got shredded in a matter of seconds, like an award speech that gets cut off mid-sentence. Lawsuits, public outrage, non-stop media coverage. He's doing everything he can just to salvage whatever's left of the name he spent so long protecting.
She's brought the suit, and he's got to defend himself. And there's some very serious allegations being made against him and Wayfarer for harassment.
Meanwhile, Blake Lively is over here throwing legal haymakers like she's in the finals for some Olympic event. Her most unbelievable move so far? Begging the judge to seal up any text messages between her, Ryan Reynolds, and a bunch of other A-listers. Because here, in the land of glitzy illusions, hush-hush details can be worth more than a movie's entire opening weekend. Blake claims these texts are so explosive that letting them see the light of day would bring irreversible harm. Not your usual LOL convos, right? These must be spicier than any behind-the-scenes book we've seen.
Like when you combine it all, it's enough to make you like completely crash out on how, I guess, delusional that these people are.
So why are Blake and Ryan so worried? Well, they're scared Baldoni might leak everything, which could nuke their squeaky clean image. But seriously, harm it how? Are we talking cringeworthy jokes, humiliating gossip, or maybe some hot takes nobody's supposed to know about? Whatever it is, it has people's eyebrows raised. If those texts are so innocent, then why the big push to hide them?
Some of this is getting kind of interesting. There's been some more gossip, some more discussion, but we did get some more information from Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman.
Let's be honest, this entire play practically screams PR maneuver. Lawyers across the board are calling it either strategic brilliance or a shady attempt to dodge the real issues. Some researchers say it looks like a last-ditch effort by someone who's running out of fallback options.
Ruin someone's life or falsely claim sexual assault, ruin that person's life, and that person should just lie down and take it. There's nothing can be done about it. It's absolutely insane.
And the court's reaction is priceless. They're probably as entertained as we are. After all, they're not used to seeing Hollywood's drama unfold so vividly in front of them. Whether they're going to buy into Blake's argument, though, is up in the air, because we all know it might be less about actual privacy and more about protecting the Lively Reynolds image, the can't do anything wrong couple that Hollywood adores.
First of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable.
Let's also not overlook Baldoni's perspective. He's being painted as this mustache-twirling villain, apparently just waiting to unleash the text to make Blake look terrible. But here's a big what if. Those messages could actually clear his name. Suppose they reveal a completely different side of Blake, one that her pristine Instagram page would never hint at. That's a narrative twist a Hollywood writer would be proud of.
The complaint claimed Baldoni's countersuit is a profound abuse of the legal process that has no place in federal court. It also called out Baldoni and his co-defendants' bizarre theories about the actress's intentions.
And if you thought the drama stopped there, think again. Baldoni launched his own counter-lawsuit to turn up the heat. What really catches people's attention, though, is how this entire situation showcases Hollywood's obsession with control. From controlling images and gossip to controlling something as routine as text messages, Tinseltown has never really been about right versus wrong. It's about whoever can spin the most compelling story. Right now, both sides, Baldoni and Lively, are racing to steer public perception before they go to trial. If you thought It Ends With Us was the only big drama they'd give us, strap in. Because this real-life saga is overshadowing any scripted version by miles. Now, for the moment everyone can't stop buzzing about, Justin Baldoni went all-out gladiator mode with what Blake straight up called a vengeful and rambling lawsuit. Yes, you heard that right. That's Blake's own description. But Blake, the queen of epic comebacks, wasn't about to stay quiet. She shot back, tagging Justin's lawsuit as vengeful and rambling. Rambling? I mean, can you picture a judge looking at you like you're rambling in front of the entire court? Blake's motion to dismiss was dripping with sass, basically saying Justin's lawsuit is less about serious legal claims and more about screaming for attention. Here's where it gets interesting, though. This legal battle goes far beyond petty name-calling. It's really about raw power. Baldoni's fighting tooth and nail to resurrect his public image. He's portraying himself as someone who got run over by a giant smear operation, his career and life shattered by Blake's allegations. Meanwhile, Blake's legal squad is going all out to cast her as the truth teller, the one who spoke up about whatever went down behind the scenes of It Ends With Us. And here's the kicker. The film adaptation that was supposed to be a heartfelt bestseller tribute has become a drama-fueled soap opera. The audience? Totally divided. Some see Justin's legal moves as a bold attempt to reclaim his name. Others say Blake's spot on by labeling it as vengeful and rambling. Let's face it, if you're slapped with rambling, you can imagine the jury rolling their eyes before testimonies even start. Let's rewind for a second to where this chaos actually began. The inside gossip says the atmosphere on the It Ends With Us set was anything but romantic. More like a ticking time bomb of side eyes and tension. Before long, we went from mild, snarky comments to a full-on legal hurricane. Blink and you miss it. Blake blames Justin, claiming all sorts of bad behavior and harassment, describing her experience like a living nightmare. Justin, on his end, insists he's the real target here, saying Blake's words destroyed not just his public standing, but possibly even his daily coffee routine. His lawyer even described him as destroyed, which is about as Hollywood-level dramatic as you can get. Cue the heart-wrenching piano music. But that's not all. Blake ended up slapping him with 2 lawsuits, accusing him of causing her emotional distress and claiming she lost wages after this whole mess. Justin countered with his own claims, calling her accusations overblown and positioning himself as the wrongly maligned hero in this over-the-top drama. But then an intimacy lawyer dropped a bombshell revealing that Blake had apparently put her trust in Justin at some point. And just when you think it's peaked, in comes talk of a voice note that Justin supposedly sent, apologizing for a rooftop altercation. Yes, rumor has it Justin Baldoni left an apology on Blake Lively's phone about some tense argument while filming It Ends With Us. Because in Tinseltown, what's better than a digital apology that could later be used as evidence? So, what exactly did Justin say? As sources claim he told her, "I'm really sorry." Nothing fancy, no big speech, just short, sweet, and loaded. But the million-dollar question remains. Was this a heartfelt apology or a carefully plotted move? Let's think it through. Maybe Baldoni genuinely felt guilty about whatever went down on that rooftop and wanted to patch things up. But remember, we're dealing with Hollywood, where even an "I'm sorry" could be some 3D chess maneuver to look like the good guy to the public and the legal system. Meanwhile, Blake's reaction? She hasn't publicly addressed it, which kinda says a lot. She's staying locked in on her case, not letting overshadow her legal approach. So how is everyone else reacting? Some see this voice note as a comeback moment for Baldoni, suggesting he's not the total villain he's been made out to be. Others are side-eyeing the timing, branding it a possible PR tactic. Legal analysts, of course, are in a frenzy over whether this helps or hurts him in court. One thing's clear, it adds a fresh layer of drama to an already jam-packed scandal, and it's anyone's guess how big of an impact it'll have. Now, on to the next twist. Blake Lively's second lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. That's right, folks. She's doubling down with more legal ammo, and this time it's hitting even closer to home and apparently closer to her wallet. She claims extreme emotional distress and, yep, a dip in her income. Because dealing with rooftop spats and unprofessional chaos apparently doesn't come cheap. First off, Blake says Baldoni's behavior during and after the It Ends With Us shoot wasn't just a minor inconvenience. It messed with her peace of mind in a major way. We're talking sleepless nights, high anxiety, and definitely some pricey therapy bills. And we all know therapy in Hollywood isn't a small expense. It's practically a lifestyle. But there's more. Blake also says Baldoni's actions inflicted a big blow on her career and public image. Given that Blake's one of Tinseltown's top stars, even a small dent in her brand can be a huge deal. And she's not just saying she missed a few gigs, she's talking about serious lost wages, the kind that add up to a lot more than spare change in the couch cushions. Let's pause to acknowledge Ryan Reynolds, because while Blake is busy in court, Ryan decided to take a comedic but borderline savage approach to side with his wife. Enter Deadpool 3, where rumor has it he introduced a brand new character called Nice Pool, known for being unbearably nice, almost freakishly so. Think, overly sweet to the point you question their sanity. People quickly picked up on it, especially since the storyline apparently features someone who's extremely self-centered but pretends to be everyone's best friend. If Justin was trying to show the world he's not a laughingstock, well, Ryan made that a lot more challenging by mocking him in such a huge franchise. And really, how do you sue a parody character without looking even more like the butt of the joke? Of course, Justin's legal team wasted no time firing back. They're labeling Blake's second lawsuit as exaggerated and practically calling it a Hollywood fairy tale. They say it's more about creating drama than proving real damage. Let's be honest, if every irritating experience in show business led to a lawsuit, the court system would be drowning in A-listers. But we can't forget how enormous the stakes are. If Blake's claims hold up in court, Baldoni might face utter ruin. Reputation, money, everything on the line. On the flip side, if the court tosses her claims, it feeds into Justin's story that he's been set up in a smear campaign. Either path could be life-altering for both. Now, let's talk about the big reveal, the trial date. It's officially locked in and the countdown is on. This is basically shaping up like an award show, but replace the red carpets with depositions. The media is going wild. Headlines are screaming Blake versus Baldoni, the showdown. Because who needs a blockbuster script when real life is 10 times more dramatic? Legal pros are already taking bets on the outcome. Some say Blake's bright and shiny reputation, plus her high-powered attorneys, give her a clear upper hand. Others figure Baldoni might strike a chord with people who see him as an underdog, even if that might not seal the deal in court. But let's face it, a quick, "I'm sorry" could have ended this before it turned into a spectacle, but apparently, that's off the table. Instead, we're watching a full-on Hollywood face-off. The untouchable star versus the director who says his life came crashing down. But there's more to this than just the court details. This trial is about careers, about saving face, and if we're honest, about who walks away with the final word. Blake's determined to prove she was genuinely wronged, possibly reclaim her peace of mind and finances. Baldoni wants to climb out of the hole he claims Blake pushed him into. And from a broader perspective, Hollywood's going through a big moment of reckoning over how people behave on set. This case could set a new standard for handling these issues in the future. Will we see more accountability for misconduct, or will it just keep fueling Hollywood's endless taste for scandal? We'll have to wait for the verdict to find out. Now, let's jump into the newest chapter of this ever-growing saga, the documentary Fallout. It's called He Said, She Said, Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni, and it just aired in the UK, setting off a firestorm. The doc didn't just hint at tea, it dumped a whole kettle right onto the table. It gave audiences a closer look at the meltdown around It Ends With Us, from that heated rooftop argument to the lawsuits that multiplied faster than poorly reviewed sequels. The public is in an absolute frenzy. Some are backing Blake as the star who got a raw deal. Others see Baldoni as the overshadowed underdog desperate to prove his innocence. It's basically a pick-your-own-adventure drama. The repercussions are massive. This isn't just some spat between two famous faces. It's got far-reaching consequences. The hashtag #MeToo movement is paying attention to Blake's talk of harassment and emotional turmoil. On the flip side, Baldoni's stance highlights how complicated it can be to address accusations in a world where opinions spread instantly on social media. It's intense, it's divisive, and it's sparking bigger conversations than just who's right. Meanwhile, there's also the question of how this might affect both stars' future projects. Blake might be a powerhouse, but will this fiasco make studios think twice? And Baldoni, already a director, might be feeling an even bigger squeeze. Hollywood rarely forgives or forgets, especially when public drama is involved. Plus, this case might change how the industry handles these huge public feuds going forward. Could we see tighter contracts to prevent mudslinging? Will intimacy coordinators become standard on every set? And is every celeb now going to triple-check their texts before hitting send? With the trial date creeping closer, one thing's for sure. This isn't only about Blake and Baldoni anymore. It's about Hollywood adapting, or not, to its own controversies. So, who's really ahead in this chaotic battle? It's impossible to know. But the drama? Far from over. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because the Justin versus Blake legal saga is still heating up.